Hello, my name is Mike Oshis and I'm pleased to present Vegitech to you. At Vegitech, we focus on the processing of vegetables and potatoes and the water and energy use aiming to achieve a good product quality and safety. We not only look to the process from the raw materials towards the end product, but also to the side streams such as the vegetable and potato waste and the wastewater. As such, at Vegitech we go from a linear to a circular approach via food processing or biochemical conversion, such as fermentation or extraction. We convert the vegetable biomass and agriculture waste into sustainable and value-added products. Also, water is becoming scarce and is used a lot in food processing. As such, the proper reuse or alternatives are needed. Research of innovative solutions is mostly performed on lab scale, fully standardized. At our research group, we noticed that this transition from research towards the industry is often too complicated and therefore not implemented. With Vegitech, we want to provide the translation of this knowledge towards the industry by, amongst others, providing a well-equipped testing facility, a so-called miniature factory simulating the industrial processing activities. Vegitech wants to stimulate innovative applications and developments in the food processing sector. This, first of all, to have a faster transition from the innovation phase towards an actual implementation. This is now often an issue. This philosophy we apply during the investigation of new solutions and innovations, but also during demonstrations or validations of existing technologies. As a university, we also want to inform not only the industry, but all actors on solutions, but also on existing issues and problems. This by bringing together industry with academia and the government in a quintuple helix approach in which the impact or relation with civil society and especially the environment is close by. Man could say that Vegitech is presenting itself on the edge of innovation and implementation. The focus is on new technologies, not only how we can develop them, but also how to implement these in a practical way and on improving the old. In a large sense, Vegitech has four main pillars. First of all, an optimal product quality and safety or improved quality and safety. Secondly, the hygienic design of machines has a high impact on the process, resulting in a faster and or better cleaning and disinfection process, not only improves product safety, but also reduces the downtime and the needed manpower. Additionally, also the reduction of waste generation and an efficient water and energy management is unavoidable. At the very last, waste can also be reduced by more efficient process. For example, also completed by side streams and byproducts that can be valorized into products with an added value. But first of all, how does Vegitech helps to increase the product quality and safety? By testing and implementing innovative technologies in a full pilot process line, for example. And by setting up such a pilot facility, for example, to compare conventional versus innovative technologies. One example I can think of here is a packaging machine we are developing currently together with a machine builder, in which we will optimize and build an aseptic area built within the machine itself. Another nice example is where we use vegetable waste to extract natural antimicrobial agents. These agents can then be applied in novel coatings to extend the shelf life of processed products. Another topic is the evaluation and optimization of the hygienic design of equipment. For example, the formation of biofilm with, for example, Listeria monocytogenes is a big issue in the food industry. Research is currently performed to investigate how we can prevent the formation of this biofilm, but also we look in towards how the biofilm is formed. Next to that, we are also looking to better, faster, and less chemical and water consuming cleaning and disinfection processes. Also here, an optimal hygienic design of the equipment can be beneficial. During processing, contamination and cross-contamination of the product needs to be avoided. Methods are being developed and evaluated to prevent this. For example, by disinfecting the washing water and having a look which chemical are suited best for this. Otherwise, we can also look towards potential chemical-free methods to have same water quality. But also, of course, in the end, we need a safe product. How to control and minimize the water and energy usage is also a big question within the industry. Due to the limitation of the use of tap water or even deep groundwater, the food industry is forced to look to existing or innovative water treatment technologies, both inline or as a reconditioning step for the maximal use and reuse of water. Or, second of all, to look for alternative water sources, maybe after treatment thereof. At the end of the production day, Vegitech also looks for solutions and methods to have a minimal environmental impact and, of course, an ecotoxicological safe discharge. Of course, we also think how we can balance these solutions with the imposed legislation. Therefore, Vegitech is also in direct contact with legislative bodies to go into discussion and to balance the potential of technologies with legislation. For example, by reusing the treated process or wastewater. Companies also often have no clear idea how process parameters are influencing their water and energy use. There is still a clear data gap to achieve an efficient monitoring and control of their process. Within Vegitech, research is going on to define the best process parameters, but also how we can measure these process parameters correctly, which equipment and sensors we need to use for that, and which methods or platforms are available to visualize and manage the data. For the valorization of generated food waste, Vegitech also applies a clear strategy. Extraction technologies are applied towards the side streams we are having. These can be chemical or biochemical or physical or a combination of these methods. We will apply to the side streams. With the analytical techniques in our lab, potential interesting components can be extracted. These components can be macronutrients, for example proteins, or even microcomponents such as phenolics. At the end, we are always looking to have an application in food and feed. One of the questions we are trying to answer here is if we can possibly increase the nutritional value of other products by applying these biomolecules. Different side streams are, for example, generated in the vegetable and potato processing industries. For example, potato peels, rich on components as proteins and starch. But also wastewater is generated. For example, blanching water, which is rich of starch and can be potentially extracted and purified from the water, enabling the reuse of this processed water. In both cases, as well as for the peels as the blanching water, the extracted components are aimed to be valorized in new applications in food and feed, but also as potential use in nutraceuticals and cosmetics. Then I want to answer the question to you, who and how can we help? Vegitech is open to almost everyone, but more specifically I can say we are there towards the machine builders, the technology suppliers, can be different kind of technologies like water technology, sensor technology, but we're also here for the vegetable and potato processing industry, of course. At last, national but also international research organizations and institutions are those we are really cooperating with. In this line, I also want to say Vegitech is not only a Ghent University story. We are in close cooperation with other organizations and institutions, which are all specialists in specific topics, such, for example, related to energy management, but also for specific topics in water and food. VegTech is also not just a place for research. It also provides lots of services, training courses, workshops, and demonstrations. We can offer this ourselves, of course, but we can also take up a more participating or even a facilitating role in this, depending on the required needs of customer or research partner. The unique benefit of VegTech hereby is the availability of pilot-scale infrastructure in an industrial as well as an academic context. This also ensures that cooperations can result in different kind of project formats, going from a collective kind of project on one side towards theses, internships, student projects, or one-on-one projects on the other side. The pilot-scale infrastructure will be located in a new research building at the campus in Kortrijk. This will ensure that we will have access to a flexible and dynamic space with different modular food process lines. On site, we have a fresh cut produce line available within a refrigerated environment, but we also will have a second line. A second line will be constructed, which will focus more on the processing of potatoes and vegetables into fried, chilled, and deep frozen products. Additionally, fermenters will be available within the VegTech building for the valorization of side streams of the food processors lines. These are, of course, also available to use on waste streams coming from food processors within the companies themselves. Next to the food processing pilot hall, a well-equipped pilot hall for water treatment purposes is available with, of course, different multifunctional pilot zones. Also, different water tanks are available in the building to collect industrial wastewater, for example, from a specific company, but on-site also process water and alternative water sources such as surface water, rainwater are available, which can be treated or sent to the process lines for reuse or use. Also, additionally, a complete monitoring and control framework will be constructed to measure and monitor energy and water streams within the VegTech building. The system will be constructed in order to be a demonstrative example towards the industry. The implemented system is further foreseen to communicate with the platform, to analyze and manage the data on one side, but secondly also to use this to control the processes within the building. And at last, I can say everything we will doing or are doing is supported by a strong analytical and microbiological lab, in which we have a year-long expertise, but of course also availability and accessibility of a very large number of measurement techniques, such as spectrophotometric techniques, but also going towards high resolution chromatography. Thanks for listening. I just want to mention the different ways to keep up to date with us. For an overview of our ongoing projects, please pay a visit towards our website, which is ugent.be/VegTech. Of course, I also like to advise you to follow our LinkedIn page, VegTech. We frequently post some news there. Alternatively, you can also keep up to date with us by following or using the hashtag VegTech on Twitter. Thank you again.